Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your attendance and your wonderful contributions. I always like to remind myself that when we invest in something like this, we are investing in the future of Islam. And whatever we do today will have not only effects on ourselves and our immediate community, but it has a profound impact on what Islam looks like 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. So to be able to be part of something so beautiful and so impactful, I don't see any better possible usage of our time and financial resources. It's all about the big picture, but it's broken down and manifests in the form of individuals. I'm sure they've given you some of the statistics of how many people have been touched, how many people have been impacted, how many people have been reached out to. Many of these people were and are on the verge of deciding whether they even want to stay Muslim or not. And then these efforts come in, and all of a sudden everyone feels stronger in their deen. The environment that is created through our programs, those that we're doing all across North America and other countries, the circles, conferences, seminars, workshops, classes, collaborative events with other organizations. Every one of these has created not just a hype and a buzz in every one of those communities, it's created the catalyst for change. And for us, to be perfectly honest, our net worth is the change that we bring. That is how we measure ourselves. That's how we measure our success. How many lives were impacted? How many people came back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How many people left the disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jal? How many of them started doing things that they should have been doing but didn't have the strength? And when you go to these cities and meet the people, they will share their stories of change with you. And how beautiful is it that we all get to be a part of it, where it all happens, where the nexus of all of it is, where all of the thinking is happening, all the planning is happening, and where the greatest immediate impact is taking place right here in Michigan. How amazing is it that we all have a chance to somehow play a role in this? We don't take anything with us into our graves. The only thing waiting there is what we have sent forward for that day. And by Allah, everything that you are contributing, as long as you are sincere in it, it will be waiting for you at that moment when you need it the most. And there will be no greater joy when we leave this world than the good that we have forwarded for that day. Because it not only helps us in the grave, not only helps us when we are rising from the grave, not only helps us when we are presented in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only helps us when our deeds are being weighed, not only helps us in determining which group we are raised with, not only helps us when it's time to cross the bridge of Sirat, but these are the deeds that stay with us and hold our hand until they get us admittance into Jannah. This is what we are doing for ourselves and what we are doing for mankind. One small good deed that we do for ourselves, it becomes permanent, it's everlasting. Al-Baqiyatu Salihat. A good deed remains forever. But imagine being a source of the good deeds of other people. Some people will stand on the day of judgment with their own a'mal. And others will stand with their own a'mal and the a'mal of hundreds and thousands of people that have been credited to them because they were a source of that. Those are the true winners. Those are the people who leveraged everything in their favor. And they will have the greatest returns on the Day of Judgment. Their own deeds and the deeds of hundreds, perhaps thousands, perhaps millions of people. That is where we want to position ourselves. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your sacrifices, your generosity, your kind intentions, your beautiful sentiments, your encouragement, your motivation, your moral support. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put all of that in the scale of your good deeds. And lastly, just because we are doing something, it doesn't mean we forget ourselves. Our own personal progress, in our knowledge, in our practice, there is nothing that takes the place of this. So we are all on a journey. We're all wayfarers traversing this path. We cannot afford to leave ourselves behind in our own actions with the false impression that because I'm helping other people, that's good enough. Every single one of you who have contributed today, just like you took it took something from inside, it took an inner drive to come to that conclusion, to arrive to the point where you said, I'm going to give this much. That same inner drive is required for you to propel yourself to your next step in deen, whatever that may be. We all have room for growth. We all need improvement. We all need to be closer to Allah. We all need to bring more of our deen into our lives. Just like this was a source of so much khair, let this also be the point where we decide to take the next step for ourselves and for our families. And then we will see that these types of gatherings will be one of our greatest sources of happiness and comfort on the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us.